This message from the other side is going to change whoever hears this life, help you to understand everything, blocking your blessings. Now, let's talk about the other side of the duality of gratitude. Whew. This is gonna be a big one. When you understand this duality, peace comes upon you. You feel closer to God. If you want the message that's gonna change your life in 2024, you gotta stick around. Boom. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. This video is gonna be long and I'm so sorry. But it has to be, it has to be, it has to be, it has to be. There's just no way around it. If you want the message that's gonna change your life in 2024, you gotta stick around. Boom. What up, y'all? It's your girl Sakina Iman, and look, I literally accidentally deleted the entire first portion of this video. So I have to say this all over. I'm gonna do my best to remember everything because I said some good things in there and I don't know why. Who is keeping me from it's the devil. It's the devil, y'all, that's keeping me from putting this message out because I'm really dropping gems and like I don't understand. But anyways, thank y'all for watching my last few videos. The amount of love that I've received from you all, the amount of stories that you told me about dreams that you've had or times where you've seen the future is mind-boggling to me. But also I want you to know that these stories that you share with me mean more to me than any award or accolade I could receive. Like, this is really what I live for, these things. So this really is truly a gift for me to share my stories and then also hear your stories back as well. So the story I'm about to share is a message that I've received from the other side. I feel that this message from the other side is going to change whoever hears this life. So, but whoever sees this, I know for sure hearing this message is going to change you, because this message is a message that I received from my Aunt Doreen. And before I even start the message, I want to let you know that even I was skeptical about these gifts that I have. I'm a very practical, logical person, so I even had to ask, like, is this really you, Aunt Doreen? Is this really you? And the same way that Matt proved to me that it was him in my first video, when you go back on my page, for whoever didn't see that first video where Matt proved to me that it was him, she proved to me that it was her. How she did that was, so before I get into the message, I'm gonna explain how she proved to me that it was her, so that I just want you to know this is a real person from the other side, or spirit being from the other side, who gave me a message to share with you. If you're watching this, it's because you needed to hear this. So the way that she proved to me that it was her, the second time that I spoke to her, right? Because I know how she sounds, I know how she laughs, I know how she looks, I know how she feels, but I still was like, oh, Doreen, is this really you, or is this me just like imagining that I'm talking to you because I miss you so much, right? Like, my mom raised me, but my aunts also raised me with my mom. Like, it takes a village, you know? And my aunt was like the matriarch. She was one of the matriarchs of the family. So when she passed, it was hard for me. It was hard for a lot of us, right? So I was wondering, like, oh, is this just my way of coping, where I'm just thinking that she's talking to me? No, she proved to me that it was her. There was a small window of time. For some reason, I don't know why she couldn't stick around, but the second time that she came to me, it was almost like she only had a small amount of time, and she was like trying to reach me before the time was up. So she was trying to tell me a whole bunch of information in a small window. It was almost like she was excited that she had me when she did. So she was like, oh, Kina, before you go. And then she just told me a whole bunch of information. And this is not when she told me the big message. This is when she was just telling me something completely different. So that second time that she came to me, she was proving to me, like, okay, yes, this is her. Like, don't be alarmed. Don't doubt that it's me. It's me. She told me a lot of things, but one of the things she told me that was very obvious, that it was her and it was no one else, and that it was a spirit from the other side, was that she told me information that only God would know. Long story short, my aunt passed before the pandemic, right? Now, my older cousin Rashidi, he has a son named Lathan. And mind you, I asked my cousin if I could share this, so it's not like I'm sharing his business, or I asked him if I could share this before I share it. So anyways, I know Rashidi really well, but his little baby boy, all I know is that he's a handsome little model boy and he's always smiling every time I see him, right? So in my mind, I would never think that Lathan will be going through anything, right? She told me to tell Rashidi, reassure Lathan, because for some reason, he's having a lot of anxiety. He's having a lot of nervousness. He's doing too much. He's going a little bit mad, just a little bit too anxious and too fearful for a child his age. And I'm like, why is Lathan, why is he fearful? Why is he nervous? Why is he, you know, having anxiety? This little happy little go-lucky doll looking boy, why does he have any issues? I didn't know why, and neither would anyone who's alive today who doesn't know him know that. But she's someone who's not even here, and she wasn't even here past the pandemic. So I tell my cousin Rashidi, for some reason, Aunt Doreen told me to tell you that Lathan's like really nervous and he shouldn't be nervous, to like calm down, and he's being really fearful and anxious. He doesn't need to be that way, and that he's okay, he'll be fine, he'll be safe, he's safe. And then my cousin goes, wow, that's crazy. He's like, that's crazy, because for the past however long, little Lathan, he was like really anxious, washing his hands all the time, putting on multiple masks, not wanting to be near anybody, not wanting to have any physical contact with anybody because of COVID, right? He had all this anxiety because of COVID. I guess maybe in his classroom, there were people who were getting really sick. Maybe people in their family were passing, and he didn't want people in his family to pass. I'm pretty sure you can guess why he would be anxious and nervous, but I had no idea. Only God would know this. The only people that would know that information is my cousin Rashidi, his little son, Lathan, and Lathan's mom. So the only 3 people in the entire world that would know that about him, and maybe his teacher, they didn't tell me that. My Aunt Doreen told me that. So I said, oh wow, this is my Aunt Doreen. Like she's talking to me. Okay, we getting somewhere. We getting somewhere. Let me listen, because I don't know what else she has to share with me. So she would come to me here and there, and I would listen to her messages. But I want to say this recent message that she gave me, I don't know if it's because it's 2024, maybe this is a special year, but she sent me a download of 3 huge things that I want to share with you. And these 3 huge things, mind you, I didn't even know what a download was. Like, I've heard people talk about downloads, but I didn't know what that meant. But I know this was a download, because instead of telling me like step by step by step in like linear words, she told me almost everything at once. Like, she just kind of like made my brain see and correlate things that I wouldn't normally correlate and see. Like, I was like, oh, like I was like, my brain it was like a mind-blowing experience, to where I was like, you know that movie, Home Alone, where the freaking, where one of the burglars who was trying to make some type of electricity work, he plugged something in something else, and then he just had like this incredibly wild electric reaction. So, like, that was almost what was happening to my brain. I was like, what is happening? And and then that's why, and then this why, and that's why we, and that's why I, and that's why he, and that's why they, and that's why, oh my God. Everything makes sense. Okay, so let me share the message. Okay, so the 3 things that she shared that I feel are so important and so monumental. 3 things, and this is how I'm breaking it down, because it was like a multitude of things. We would be here all night if I like completely told you every single little thing, but let me do my best to share with you what it was that happened, okay? So the 3 things are: godliness is next to cleanliness, everything is frequency and forces and frequencies, and the duality of gratitude. Oh my God. Child, pray for me, okay? It's a lot. Let me break it down. Okay, I'm gonna start with godliness is next to cleanliness, okay? That's the most basic one. That's kind of the foundation of everything. So godliness is next to cleanliness. You heard this in the Bible. You heard this from gurus, right? Sadhguru and all the gurus, right? Everyone talks about cleanliness and clarity, right? You need to have a clear mind in order to attract. And when you're meditating, you need to not have all these thoughts in your way. It goes deeper. Okay, she broke it down. It goes deeper. She was saying it's not just that. It's not just that. She was like, I can't really hear you that well. Me and her were talking, and she was like, I can't really hear you that well. What's going on? And I was like, I'm trying to hear you, and I'm talking as loud as I can, but I wasn't physically talking as loud as I can. But I was like, I'm focusing as deeply as I can right now. It's a little hazy, but I still hear you. She had told me, and the first few times she came to me, I was in another apartment, mind you. So that's something to think about. But she had told me, Kina, you have too much clutter in your reality for me to hear you. And I was like, what is she talking about? Like, too much clutter, like. And when I asked her, what do you mean? That's when she gave me the download of multiple things, right? But let me break that first one down. She's saying godliness is next to cleanliness, and I needed to clean up, right? She's not just talking about my room. My room it's alright, right? It's alright. I ain't the neatest person in the world, but she wasn't even just talking about that. She's talking about every corner of the space that you take up in your reality. Every corner of that space needs to be clear. If you have a closet that you haven't cleaned in years, just that closet alone is literally messing and blocking your blessings. If you have a garage or a makeup drawer, a car, a storage unit, or an email that needs decluttering, all the things in your life that you are no longer using on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis, if you have them piling up and cluttering your reality, those things are actually blocking the frequency between you and God. And I'm gonna break down why. And one of the reasons why is the duality of gratitude. So we're gonna get into that. The clarity of this message has to be there, and I'm wanting to break it down for you. Okay. So she allowed me to see analogies. For example, the same way that there's cell towers, right? And if there's pollution or congested traffic, right? Congested traffic with other towers, right? It's gonna be hard for those lines of communication, right? She showed me the same way that I'm a lymphatic drainage technician. She showed me based off of what I would perceive as my reality right now. She spoke to me in my own language. So she said the same way that my clients need to see me to detox their lymph nodes, right? To take all the toxins in their body and drain to their lymph nodes. And if I don't do that, they'll have blockages in their system that lead to autoimmune issues, right? And disease. Those toxins built up in the body can cause that person's demise. It's the same way when you collect things that no longer serve you, it automatically becomes toxic. It automatically becomes something that will not serve you. It automatically becomes something that's not with you but against you. So now you need to throw out stuff that you don't use anymore, or that you don't care for anymore, or that no one is using, and that it's not serving any purpose, right? There's no reason for it to be here, because those things are becoming toxic in your life. You're blocking your blessings. Go clean all of it. Go detox, and that will bring clarity to your connection with the highest source, right? And now that brings me to one of the easier points, right? I'm gonna come to the duality of gratitude. That's a big one. I'm gonna come to that after this point. So forces and frequencies. Everything is forces and frequencies, right? We all came here from the highest source, the biggest source that created us all. Some call it God, some call it the universe, some call it Mother Mary, whatever, right? So whatever you call your highest source, your most high source, that is what I'm talking about, okay? That living, breathing source is in all of us. It is all of us. It is all things, right? Nothing can be created or destroyed without this source, okay? So I say that to say we all have frequencies and different dials of this particular source within our own realities, okay? And based off of your frequency, that's who and what you're gonna attract, right? A lot of us know this already. This is something that the law of attraction teaches and a lot of gurus teach, right? So your level of cleanliness is going to be what your proximity of closeness to your ability to get closer to this source, right? And it's not just, like I said, not just physical, but the clarity of your space, your mental, everything, right? Okay, the reason being, let's get to the duality of gratitude. The reason why you need to clean your space is because of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest forms of connection between you and the highest source, okay? Gratitude is the feeling space of love. God is love. Gratitude is the landline for contacting God, okay? Let me say that one more time. Gratitude is the landline for contacting God. However, a lot of us think we know what gratitude is. We don't, okay? There's a depth to gratitude that she just downloaded into my being, right? And it is this. When you have too much crap, and my Aunt Doreen didn't say the word crap, even though she said that a lot when she was alive, but I'm using the word crap. When you have an absorbent amount of crap, right, cluttering your space, it's showing God that you are ungrateful. Let me say that another way. She gave me an analogy for whoever here has kids or nieces and nephews, right? Or even a company and you have employees. When you give your child or your employee or your niece or nephew or your friend, right? When you give this particular being gifts, let's just say with the parent and child, if you give your child many gifts, and my sister Shanta gonna know what I'm talking about, because she just told me, that's crazy, she just told me this the other day. She's like, man, we bought so many toys for her, some of them she never even opened. Okay, they just laying on the shelf. If you give your child all these toys and they don't use it to the point where some of them haven't even been opened yet and they're just stacking up, do you think that shows your parent or you as the parent that you should continue to buy them more gifts? Or do you feel like, I ain't gonna get her another BMW for her birthday. She got 3 of them in the garage. I ain't gonna give him another job. He got like 4 or 5 jobs, you know, that he just seems to be really caring about. Like, he's all up in them jobs. I'm not gonna give her more money for hair care products because she got hair care products all over the house. I'm not gonna give her more of this or more of that. This is a reality that I want you to understand. God, the highest source, the Most High, Mother Mary, Jesus, right, whoever you pray to and believe is the Most High, wants to give you what you deserve, right? But how does that look? How does that look to your father or to your parent, right? How does that look when you have so many things that you don't even use? Why should I give you more things? Why? You got all this stuff. You're not even using it, so why should I give you more? You don't need it. You don't need a better job. You don't need more money. You don't need prettier this. You don't need to look this. You don't need any of it because you're not even caring for the current situation. You're not even caring for what you have now. So when you have all these things that you're not using, it looks like you don't give a damn. So let me talk about the duality of gratitude. The first side of gratitude, for those of you who understand duality is 2 sides, 2 completely opposite opposing forces, right? It's like a dichotomy, all right? So there's a dichotomy of gratitude. So these 2 opposing forces, right? There's a side of gratitude where something means so much. It means it's precious. It's sacred. And I'm not talking about a minimalistic lifestyle, even though it's gearing towards that, but not really. Minimalism is a little more political. I'm talking about when you cherish every little thing that you have as given to you by the Most High, that will be felt and heard, okay? A perfect example that she gave me was a pill bottle, right? Or a vitamin pill bottle. Right? I have a whole slew of vitamin supplements in this really huge cabinet that I have within my room. And some of those things I haven't even looked in probably a year. Like I have my go-to vitamins and I have my vitamins like in the back that I'm like, oh, I don't really use those. But when you think about it, it took multiple scientists to put together, right, this particular vitamin compound, all the elements that are in this vitamin, extract it from whatever plant it was from, right, and then create it into a powder or whatever the case may be. But it took also each individual chemist years of studying in college, right? But then it took their parents decades of taking care of them and themselves, raising them and whatever siblings they have. But then it took their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents. And there's all this atom and the DNA and the atoms in their DNA and all the little tiny specks of what it took to get all of this to create the reality of this vitamin. And not just the vitamin. Then there's the bottle where this plastic came from wherever, right? Or this glass came from wherever, right? And then there's the artwork on the bottle, and that artwork was created by someone who went to school and did this, and then there's a picture that was taken in the photographer, and then there's the words that were written from this editor, and then there's so many moving parts to what created this one little piece of something that you just threw to the side because it didn't serve you in the moments that you didn't need it. So think about all the times that you have felt like you were tossed to the side, right? The times where you felt insignificant, like you were tossed to the side. What goes around comes back around. It is karma, it's karmic, and it all connects. So the same way that you treat what God gives to you, you will see that same thing in your reality. Clean up everything. I don't care if it's dust on top of your fridge. Clean the dust on top of your fridge. Throw out anything you don't use on a regular basis. It is sitting there. You are not being grateful for it, right? Now, let's talk about the other side of the duality of gratitude. Whew, this is gonna be a big one. Okay, so the same exact way that gratitude is making sure that each thing is so precious because it has this lineage and it has these connections and every little thing, like it's all a microcosm of the universe, right? So the same way that that's so important, you also need to understand that nothing is more important and significant than that higher source, than the most high, than the source that you came from, than the one that we all are. Everything almost is insignificant. It's nothingness. It's nothing. It's no thing. So you have to understand the duality of gratitude, that everything means something so deep and important and groundbreaking, and in the same vein, it all means nothing at the same time compared to the biggest and greatest of all sources, right? The reason why that's so important is because it'll help you to understand everything. For example, let's say you're in a relationship with whether a friend or a significant other, family member, a boss, or whoever in your life, and you think this one thing is so important. You are like, this means everything to me, and I need you to see that this means everything to me. There's so many times where the other person, or even you, roles might be reversed, where you or the other person will feel like, it's not that serious. It's just X, Y, and Z. Why is this so important to you? Why is this a big deal? Why? You're questioning the beauty and the relevance of something. But then on the flip side, if you are that person who thinks this thing is everything, this just means everything, you can't see why and how to anyone this isn't the end of the world. You're like, are you insane? Like, this deadline or this opportunity could mean a lifetime. This glass china was from Ned Zeppelin and they signed it for me, or whatever, right? You are going to hold a certain weight on certain objects, people, places, and things. You're going to hold a certain weight onto those things. Those things either going to mean everything or nothing. And I want you to understand that both things are true. Okay? Bear with me. Both realities are true. If you understand, it is true that those concert tickets mean the world, or that these sneakers that this person just stepped on, these Jordans that you love so deeply, it is true that they are everything in the world, that they are a cherished item. The reason why they are both true is because a perfect analogy that she gave me to understand this was a mother who is talking to her child, and you know that your child's day at school meant the world to their child, right? And you also at the same time can understand that your child isn't going to care about this tomorrow, right? Your child isn't going to care about this dang sure 5 years, 10, 20, 30 years from now. This is very insignificant. It means nothing to you or your child, but you know in this moment that it means the world to your child, right? Similar to if you lost your house or your car or a job or money or a partner, right? When you lose anything, if you understand the duality of gratitude, which is that it does mean everything, but it also means nothing at the same time, because nothing is compared to the highest source. But yet, because everything came from the higher source, everything means everything. I know it's a lot to grasp, right? When you understand this duality, you know how to relate to other beings more. You understand how to attract what you want in life more. Your desires make more sense. Your emotions make more sense. Other people's emotions make more sense. Peace comes upon you. You feel closer to God. You respect people more, and God more, and yourself more, and time more, and things more, and it just all makes sense. The last bonus point that ties into this is the same way that cleanliness is next to godliness, in the same way that everything means all things and nothing at the same time. When you do anything in life, you must cherish those things as if they mean everything, and also have a detachment as if they are still nothing compared to the Most High. For example, the same way that you want your employer to experience the highest form of your output and your work ethic, same way that if you have your own business, you want your clients to experience the best experience, that they could come back for more, right? Because you hold your client or your employer or whoever you're trying to impress, maybe it's a female, maybe it's a guy, you're holding them to a high value and a high standard. The same way that you put so much energy and effort into trying to impress them or getting their service, it's the same way that you have to put that type of energy into literally everything you do, because it's showing that duality of gratitude. Do you understand? So when I say everything, I mean, are you stretching like you getting paid for it? Are you working out like you getting paid for it? Are you meditating like you getting paid for it? Are you eating like you getting paid for it? Are you walking like you getting paid for it? All these other aspects of your life that you're incorporating, that's gonna make you, that's fulfilling your complete life, whether you're a dancer or whatever you are, right? Are you doing your taxes like you getting paid for it? Are you praying like you getting paid for it? Are you loving your family like you getting paid for it? Are you tending to your desires? If you have a dream that's been deferred, are you tending to that? The only way you're gonna have space for that is if you clear things out and have that duality of gratitude. Understand that everything is forces and frequencies, and the only way you're gonna attract those forces is by doing what you gotta do. Are you treating people like they're important? The same way you treat that person that you like, or your employer or your client. You gotta treat people like they're that important, because they are. Because of that duality, because of that reality of duality of gratitude, right? So everyone is that precious. And yet, even that guy that you love so much, and even that job that you are so anxious about, even those things you have to have a level of detachment with. Even those things, they're so important, and yet they mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? All things have that duality, and you have to have that level of duality with all those things. I think I've covered a lot. A lot. This is a lot. How am I gonna edit this? Jesus Christ. All right, so just to recap, forces and frequencies, cleanliness is next to godliness, duality of gratitude when it comes to people, places, and things. I think that sums a lot of it up. There's so many other things. If you want me to elaborate on anything, please comment below on anything that you could relate to, or anything that you want me to clarify. I'm here. I will create more messages from the other side like this. I've gotten a multitude of messages from the other side, and I want to continue to share these messages, especially if they come in the form of a download like this. I will do my best to do my part and meditate more, ask more questions, connect with more beings that have things to share. And yeah, in my next video, I also want to share how I accidentally manifested a car accident. Yeah, you got that right, I said it. I accidentally manifested a car accident. So maybe not the next video, but the following. I'll do that in a couple more videos. But I want to talk about how I knew that Matt was gonna pass, and how I manifested that accident, and how I manifested a couple of other things. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching. It's your girl Sakina Iman, and we out. Peace. Yes, I finished. I finished. Yeah. That was a lot.